Good evening and welcome to the national news broadcast on ChannelEye. We are ready to bring you the top stories from home and around the world. I'm Natalia Virvadan.
A very good evening. I am Dishan Veerakone and we start off by taking a look at your top stories for tonight.
The Finance Ministry emphasizes that no statement has been made saying a revenue of 15.9 billion rupees has been lost due to the reduction of tax on sugar. Another 22 volumes of the Easter Sunday Presidential Commission report sent to the Attorney General. Lawyer Hijaz Hizbullah and principal of Puttalam Al-Zuharia Madrasa School served with indictments. The President pays his attention on the shortage of tamed elephants for Perahara festivals. The Prime Minister examines progress of rural housing projects. Paliagoda Fish Market Complex reopened. The Foreign Minister says the government is committed to protect the sovereignty of Sri Lanka amid the Geneva threat.
And now on the top story for tonight, Secretary to the Ministry SR Atigala says that the Finance Ministry has not made any statement saying that the government lost a revenue of 15.9 billion rupees by reducing taxes on sugar imports. During a media briefing today at the Finance Ministry, he said that the people have received the benefits gradually of reducing import tax on sugar. Secretary to the Ministry of Finance SR Atigala said that sugar was imported to the country from 13th October last year to the 10th of February. He said that they did not receive tax revenue worth 49 rupees and 75 cents for kilogram of sugar. He said that this does not mean loss of revenue and it is the policy. The government has decided to remove taxes on export of jewellery and gems and on the production of films.
In the meantime, Buddhist monks have drawn the attention of the President about the problems that have arisen to conduct processions due to the shortage of tamed elephants. They have emphasized that there should be a short-term and long-term program to solve the problems. Procession festivals are local, religious and a cultural heritage which comes from the past. The Buddhist monks have pointed out that the Mahasangha and the government are bound to safeguard Buddhist cultural items. This was revealed during a discussion this morning at the Presidential Secretariat under the patronage of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa on the problems that have arisen due to the shortage of tamed elephants for processions. The Mahasangha and Tamed Elephants Owners Association attended the discussion. Lengthy discussions took place on the issues related to the difficulty of finding tamed elephants for the Asal Perahara festival of the Sri Dalada Maligawa and other Perahara festivals. There were 300 to 350 tamed elephants in the 80s decade. The number of tamed elephants have decreased to 107 at present and 80 out of them are above 50 years. The owners of tamed elephants pointed out that it takes about 3 years to train an elephant or a tusker for a procession. All state leaders from the past have offered elephants and tuskers to temples. The Mahasangha pointed out that it was a tradition to donate elephants to temples at diplomatic levels from countries such as Myanmar and Thailand. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa said that he strongly believes that tamed elephants are needed by the country for its Perahara festivals and culture. The President directed officials to hold discussions with the owners when preparing conditions for the regulation of tamed elephants and conservation. The Mahanayaka of the Askiriya chapter, Most Venerable Anamaduwe Dhammadasi Thera, Chief Prelate of the Tissamaharama Rajamaha Vihare, Venerable Devalegama Dhammasena Thera, Chief Prelate of Kalaniya Rajamaha Vihare, Venerable Dr. Kollupitiya Mahinda Sangharakkhita Thera, Registrar of Gangarama Temple, Venerable Dr. Kirinde Asaji Thera, the Mahasangha, President's Chief Advisor Lalit Veeratunga, Chairman of Tamed Elephants Association Nilanga Dela and secretaries to the line ministries attended the discussion.
Another 22 volumes of the Easter Sunday Presidential Commission report has been handed over today to the Attorney General's Department. 87 volumes have been sent to the Attorney General for necessary measures. The volumes have been handed over to the Attorney General by the President's Director General of Legal Affairs, Harigupta Rohanadira. Mr. Rohanadira said that 22 volumes handed over today contain sensitive information. The coordinating officer to the Attorney General, State Councillor Nishara Jagaratna, says that the Attorney General filed indictments at the Puttalam High Court against Attorney-at-Law Hijaz Omar Hizbullah and Provincial and the Principal of Puttalam Al-Zuharia Madrasa School, Salim Khan Mohammed Shafi. There have been filed indictments under the Prevention of Terrorism Act and on Civil and Political Rights National Act.
Now, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa has examined the progress of rural housing projects at the State Ministry of Rural Housing, Construction and Building Material Promotion today. The meeting was held at the auditorium of the Ministry of Buddha Sasana and Cultural Affairs at Setsiripaya. State Minister Indika Anuruddha explained the program implemented under the theme Housing for Everyone and Sustainable Construction Industry. The Prime Minister paid his attention on construction and building projects and their progress. Work on 6,745 rural houses was completed under a House for You and a Future for You, the Country Housing Assistance Program last year. 5.26 billion rupees has been spent on the program. 14,022 houses are expected to be built this year. Work on 1,917 houses has already commenced. The Prime Minister also inquired about the Mihindu Nivahana housing project. 2,000 houses are scheduled to be built under that project. Constructions of 50 houses out of that have commenced. The housing project is implemented on behalf of the parents of Buddhist monks. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa examined the progress of the projects of all institutions under the State Ministry of Rural Housing, Constructions and Building Material Promotion. State Minister Indika Anuruddha, Prime Minister's Head of Staff Yoshida Rajapaksa, Secretary to the Ministry of Urban Development and Housing Sirinimal Pereira, Secretary to the State Ministry Kirti Ranjit Abesirivardhana and Chairman of the National Housing Development Authority Renuka Pereira were present on the occasion. Handing over of winning cheques to the winners of the lotteries of development lottery boards took place under the patronage of Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa at the Temple Trees today. Cheques were handed over to the winners of Kapruka 687 and 689, Shanida 3507 and 3543 and Development Lottery 411.
Meanwhile, vaccination of 264,000 AstraZeneca doses received by Sri Lanka under COVAX facility for persons above 60 years commenced today under the patronage of Minister Pavitra Vanyarache. The vaccination program took place at Rajagiriya Victoria and Malabe Kotalavalapura elders' homes. Plans have been made to vaccinate elders in Colombo and Gampaha districts. The staffs of elders' homes in Colombo and Gampaha districts will also be vaccinated. State Minister Professor Channa Jayasumana, Health Minister Secretary Dr. Sanjeeva Munasinghe, Director General of Health Services Dr. Asela Gunawardana and representatives from the UNICEF were present on the occasion. People in Colombo have been given the opportunity to reserve a time early to get the COVID vaccine. A time can be reserved by logging into www.echanneling.com website. The service can be obtained by selecting the nearest health office and inserting necessary information. The date, place and the time to get the vaccine will be informed through a SMS. The AstraZeneca vaccine has so far been given to 759,548 persons under the COVID-19 inoculation program. 7,450 persons were vaccinated yesterday. Dr. Chandima Jivandara of Sri Jawadhanapura University says that a patient infected with B1351 coronavirus variant, which is spreading in South Africa, has been found from the country. He said that the patient has been reported from a quarantine center. 4 patients infected with B117 variant, which is spreading in Britain, have been reported from quarantine centers. A person infected with E484K has also been found from the country. The number of recoveries from COVID-19 has reached 83,958. It is a percentage of 96.39. Another 2,626 patients are undergoing treatment. 5,011 have left the hospitals from the beginning of this month after recovering from the virus. Another 397 fully recovered persons have left hospitals today. Another 115 COVID-19 patients were detected in the island today. 5 more COVID-19 related deaths were reported yesterday. The victims were residents of Navalapitiya, Angulana, Mattegoda, Bibila and Dehivala areas. They are in the ages of 56, 63, 80, 67 and 68.
Now, the Paliagoda Fish Market Complex, which was closed due to the spread of the coronavirus, was reopened today after renovations. It took place under the patronage of the head of the Presidential Task Force, Basil Rajapaksa. The Palagoda Fish Market complex, which was closed 3 months ago, was reopened today according to health guidelines. 54 million rupees has been spent to modernize the trade complex, which will be made a fully equipped trade center in the future. The Palagoda Fish Market complex is scheduled to be developed as an attractive place for tourists. Minister Douglas Devananda, Prasanna Ranatunga, State Minister Kanchana Wijesekara, local politicians and officials were present on the occasion.
Foreign Minister Dinesh Gunawardena says that government is committed to safeguard sovereignty of Sri Lanka amid threats levelled through Geneva Human Rights Council. The minister pointed out that the utmost expectation of the government is to protect human rights and rights of people in Sri Lanka. A book written based on present Geneva human rights proposal and the report of the High Commissioner was launched today at the Foreign Ministry. The book includes an intellectual discourse on unfair measures taken against Sri Lanka and the ways it could be faced. The book, Geneva Crisis and Forward Path, was compiled under the patronage of former Ambassador, President's Counsel Sarath Vijayasinghe.
We are aiming at the entire world. We are aiming at Geneva. We are aiming at London. So that is how we are trying to make use of the book and the contents here.
Minister Dinesh Gunawardena said that the Geneva crisis will be handled with a broad consensus as a government.
Geneva process is on. Sri Lanka's position has been explained, and we hope that we will be able to pursue to defend our sovereignty, independence and our constitution, as well as the democratic principles to which our country is committed to, and also advancing the human rights to all our citizens, irrespective of whichever part of Sri Lanka they come from or live in. That's the vision of His Excellency the President. Whatever the allegations we can meet, and as we have done, we hope to meet those, whatever the new presentations and resolutions that are presented.
This moment we have major one voice in Sri Lanka coming from the President, Prime Minister, Honorable Foreign Minister. I think I am very lucky to work in such an environment where there is one clear voice, one clear directive and one clear objective. The Honorable Minister mentioned this in one word, that we will not surrender our sovereignty.
Now recently there has been a letter stating that Sri Lanka has invited Foreign Minister of Myanmar for a tour which has been circulated in social media. Foreign Minister Dinesh Gunawardena expressed his views about the issue.
No invitation has been extended to come to Sri Lanka for any conference. It is a virtual conference where the Secretary General of BIMSTEC, we should have handed over the chairmanship to Thailand end of last year. Now we are discussing by virtual whether Secretary General has proposed that we discuss the issue when Sri Lanka could hand over.
Now, Sri Lankans living overseas says that the Geneva human rights operation against Sri Lanka is conducted according to the needs of certain powerful countries and separatist diaspora members. The Sri Lankan community is taking steps to educate European people on the unfair human rights operation against their country and the reasons. The Sri Lankan community has held an open street photographic display near a place close to the Geneva Human Rights Council premises. It shows the cruelty of LTTE terrorism and the measures taken by the government to protect all communities. A group of Sri Lankans identified as the London Initiative has organized the exhibition. The overseas Sri Lankans' aim is to inform Switzerland, who is having an opposing view about Sri Lanka, and other nationals on the true situation. Sri Lankans in Europe as well as Middle East have joined in the efforts. And that's a wrap of tonight's Primetime News, and until we meet again next time, do take care and good night.
Good night.